Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the City of Griffin Board of Commissioners, October 22, 2024. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Brad Wright, followed with the invocation by Commissioner Truman Tinsley III. Please join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we're here today to ask your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interests of everyone. Help us overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Commissioner Murray with a motion. Second by Commissioner Tinsley. All in favor of the agenda as presented, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Moving into presentations and delegations. At this time, we will present a proclamation declaring the month of October 2024 to be Code Enforcement Appreciation Month. So will our staff please join me up front? Welcome, everybody. How's our crew doing tonight? So glad to have y'all tonight. Welcome. City of Griffin Proclamation, Code Enforcement Appreciation and Code Compliance Month, October 2024. Whereas code enforcement officers provide for the safety and the welfare of the citizens throughout the United States through the enforcement of local codes or ordinances facing various issues of building, zoning, housing, animal control, environmental, health, and life safety. And whereas code enforcement officers often have a challenging and demanding role and often do not receive recognition for the job that they do to improving living and working conditions for residents and businesses of local communities. And whereas the role of many code enforcement officers has expanded in recent years with the increased number of foreclosed and abandoned homes in communities impacted economically. And whereas code enforcement officers are delighted and highly qualified professionals who share the goals of preventing neighborhood deterioration, enhancing and ensuring safety, and preserving the property values through knowledge and application of housing, zoning, and nuisance codes and ordinances. Whereas code enforcement officers often have a highly visible role in the communities they serve and regularly interact with a variety of city officials, county officials, first responders, legislative boards, commissioners, agencies, and bodies. And where code enforcement officers are called upon to provide quality customer service and excellence in the residents and businesses of the communities in which they serve. And whereas the American Association of Code Enforcement wants to recognize and honor code enforcement officers and professionals all across the United States and bring awareness to the importance of code enforcement to the communities of the United States, and whereas the American Association of Code Enforcement was established in 1988 for the purpose of providing ongoing training and support for code enforcement professionals working in the United States. Now therefore be proclaimed that the Board of Commissioners of the City of Griffin proclaims the month of October 2024 as Code Enforcement Appreciation and Code Compliance Month in the city of Griffin, Georgia, and calls upon municipalities, communities, and all the citizens of Griffin to join in recognition and expressing their appreciation for the dedication and service by the individuals who serve as our code enforcement officers. Signed, Douglas S. Holberg, Mayor, and Jessica W. O'Connor, City Manager. So we are very proud and appreciative of y'all's hard work and diligence, especially our fog inspector back here. But as a token of appreciation, we'd like to take a picture with y'all and then present y'all. And after that, we'll let you possibly make any comments.
Look at her first. But y'all gonna have to pay the
Watching her.
You're watching her.
Truman, stand
And I
up.
told me y'all laugh bad about y'all.
Truman, you're behind. Move up. Well, Miss Rose is behind. There you go. go. That's perfect. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Now watch us. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Michelle, don't leave yet. Michelle, would you like to make any comments and brag about your team?
I do get to brag. Not very often do we ever get to brag up here, but it's very exciting. This is a great group to work with. I know that they're out all the time. We do get citizen, comments or complaints, having to deal with property maintenance and stuff like that is never a fun job. These guys always have a smile on their face. They're always pleasant to be around. Wonderful people. We have Ken and Tyrone, raise your hand. They're animal control. We have Carrie, who's the supervisor raise your hand, for code enforcement. And then Jordan and Courtney are also code enforcement. And then Doug does the environmental side of our code enforcement. And then we couldn't do it without Don, who is the admin who works in the office. So I really appreciate all y'all do. It's a good job.
And if your families are here, if y'all can stand up and be recognized, because you have to tolerate them coming home after all of this. We appreciate y'all.
Carrie, nothing on the speech?
And as most are aware, one of our top 4 commissioner goals every year is code enforcement. So y'all are an active part of helping keep our community a beautiful place to live, learn, work, and play. All right, this time we have a special presentation of the 2025 Plan First designation by Daniel Gaddis of Outreach Coordinator, Department of Community Affairs. So welcome. And Michelle, I believe you're doing the introduction. Welcome.
Hey, so this is Daniel Gaddis. He is from DCA. And Chad, before he left, put in for a renewal of our Plan First designation, which is a very big deal. And unfortunately, Chad is not here to accept it tonight, but I am, so that's cool. So Daniel?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Gaddis, and it brings me great pleasure to come to you all, to this body tonight as my capacity as Planning Outreach Coordinator with the Department of Community Affairs. A lot of acronyms in government, so I'm just going to call it DCA from here on out throughout this talk. On behalf of DCA, congratulations to the City of Griffin for receiving the Plan First designation again, making the City of Griffin one of only 8 communities in the state to receive this designation for the 2025 through 2027 timeline. Also, this designation marks your 3rd time receiving this designation, joining only 12 other communities in the state to be a 3-time designee. There are no 4-time designees, so you guys are at the top. This application period was particularly competitive as we received 20 applications with over 60 local governments all across the state to check their eligibility. This Plan First designation will last for 3 years, starting January 1st, 2025 and end December 31st, 2027. It recognizes the hard work specifically of your comprehensive plan implementation, and it acknowledges your community's efforts in identifying opportunities and setting goals to move the City of Griffin forward. Since the Plan First inception in 2015, DCA established a way of highlighting exemplary communities by exemplary communities work with their comprehensive plan while effectively engaging their public. For those that do not know, a comprehensive plan is a guiding long-range document that communities use to ensure that future development will occur where, when, and how the community and local government wants. With this designation comes a lot of lucrative benefits, financial incentives. These can help you meet your goals and have helped you meet your goals by improving housing, infrastructure, and promoting economic development. Some examples, this is not an exhaustive list, but some examples include a reduced interest rate on certain GFA, which stands for Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, loans. This benefit has helped some Plan First communities save over $300,000 on GFA loans in the past. This is a new incentive that we lobbied for at the beginning of 2024 that you guys have not seen yet. You can have 3 bonus points on the CHIP applications, again with the acronyms, I know. CHIP stands for Community Home Investment Program, which is a federally funded program that provides funds to city governments, public housing authorities, and nonprofits to rehabilitate owner-occupied homes and to build and renovate affordable single-family homes for sale. You also can receive, this is a new incentive as of December of 2023, something that you guys have some experience with. You can receive 3 bonus points on housing tax credits, also known as LIHTC projects, with an improved revitalization plan. And for those in the room who don't know, this is one of the most successful housing programs in the history of the United States and is also extremely competitive. So as a Plan First designee, you have an opportunity to get 3 bonus points there. Something that I think you all are very familiar with, being a Plan First designee, you have annual eligibility for CDBG, Community Development Block Grants. If you're just a regular run-of-the-mill government, you can apply every other year. City of Griffin has applied over and over again every single year. There are others. The application, as Ms. Michelle mentioned, to become a Plan First community is stringent, and the reviewers hold these communities to a very high standard. All applications are reviewed by an internal DCA team, and they're also reviewed by the other applicant communities and Plan First communities across the state. Additionally, other state agencies and organizations also provide reviews, such as GFA, GDOT, ACCG, and GMA. Scores are tallied, and the best of the best are named. You might be wondering, what does the Plan First application assess? And it assesses 4 different categories: goals, leadership, participation, and implementation. Generally speaking, reviewers felt that the City of Griffin separated yourselves from the other applicants by demonstrating a commitment to utilizing the annual access to CDBG funding incentives to meet your community's goals, by demonstrating robust partnerships with the Land Bank Authority and the local housing authority, by engaging creatively with your public, such as the creation of the Citizens Government Academy. Your local government demonstrated an ability to see projects through over the long term, which reviewers rated very highly. Now, my favorite part is to share some actual comments from some reviewers in these 4 topics, and then I'll get out of your hair. First comment came from a peer Plan First city, and this is during the goals section, and this reviewer wrote, City of Griffin achieved several goals: 9.3 miles of water mains, 4.8 miles of sewer lines, 62 manholes, 53 fire hydrants, 507 water lines. They hold an annual retreat with elected officials to discuss goals, and their community work program is successful. Kudos. In the category of leadership, specifically about how the Planning Commission steered local planning decisions, a reviewer remarked, great projects listed. Plus, I'm a sucker for historic preservation. I love that they mentioned their Rosenwald School. I also appreciate all the plan references as well. On the topic of public participation, a reviewer summed it up by writing, they provide numerous ways for their citizens to get involved. I love how much effort they put in conducting email blasts, printing and distributing flyers. The Citizens Government Academy Junior Summer Camp is too cute. On the topic of implementation, reviewers had so many great things to say about all the projects that y'all have completed. They write, included great examples of a variety of different implementation items that were originated in the comp plan. The city addressed their diverse partners and funding sources. Another reviewer wrote, loved the $3,750,000 renovation of the historic City Hall. Kudos for being awarded the 2020 Marguerite Williams Award by the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation for having the greatest impact on preservation in the state, and an additional award for excellence in rehabilitation. Side note, I was on a work trip and I was passing through Griffin a couple months ago. After reading y'all's application, I thought I'd just stop in, and I walked around your downtown and was very impressed, and I definitely made a point to stop by the historic City Hall and was very impressed, so kudos to you all. In closing, y'all are thinking finally. The Department of Community Affairs is thrilled to convey this Plan First designation here tonight to the City of Griffin. The public, staff, and leadership of this community have shown outstanding commitment to a successful comprehensive plan implementation, and Griffin is now, for the third time, recognized as a model Plan First community in the state of Georgia. I think we're doing picture time.
All right. Y'all want to get up? Mr. O'Connor,
I'm coming.
Mr. Whalen.
Are we down there?
Come on, folks.
We'll stay up here.
We're going down there?
Unless y'all want to stand up, what would y'all prefer to do?
Get there, man. Stay up.
Stay up here, be the tall ones. Stand over everybody.
Yeah, I'll get the mayor in here. Come on.
That's right. Y'all watch that out.
Everything okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
One, watch me. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you. Congratulations again. Thank you. And I didn't know who you were talking about. It's exciting. Yeah. How many projects you've accomplished. But we appreciate you. You'll tell Commissioner Nunn, we appreciate his support, everything. Keeps things moving. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's nice to get a that a boy, that a girl once in a while. So thank you, Daniel, for coming out tonight. Moving into citizens' comments. At this time, the mayor opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. Subject to the citizens' comment policy adopted on February 13, 2024 and posted for public view, all speakers shall be limited to 3 minutes, which will be strictly followed and enforced. The mayor reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. With that being said, is there anybody on my left side like to come before the board? Anybody on my left side? Is there anybody on my right side like to come before the board? Okay. Moving into public hearings. Public hearings are conducted to allow public comments on specific advertised issues such as rezoning, ordinance, policy development, operating budgets, and other legislative actions to be considered by the City Commission. Tonight we'll receive comments regarding a request for the renaming of Steel Branch Regional Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant to Dr. Brant D. Keller Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant with proposals for sign and monument construction pertaining to the renaming of the request. Director of GIS, Brian Haynes, will address. Good evening, Mr. Haynes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a petition for an honorary naming of a city facility. On October 8th, 2024, an application was processed for Brandon Lewis, Director of Water Wastewater, for the renaming of Steel Branch Regional Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant to Dr. Brant D. Keller Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant. Included in this application is the creation of a plant entrance sign and a boulder monument with an inscribed marker dedicated to Dr. Keller that will be placed near the fishing area. An emailed letter of support from the family was received and recorded as part of the application process, and tonight we are joined by them. We welcome the members of the Keller family. Dr. Keller, as you guys know, worked at the City of Griffin for 30 years. He dedicated much of his time here to managing the Public Works and Utilities Department. Dr. Keller always took a forward-thinking approach to things and often was a leader in new innovations and technologies. Because of this, he had the foresight that there would be a need for an additional reservoir to be built to serve the citizens of Griffin. His vision led the city to build the Still Branch Reservoir and water treatment plant, which was dedicated in December of 2005. The reservoir not only became a water supply source for the citizens of Griffin, but one that would serve water regionally to customers in Spalding and other neighboring cities and counties. As part of the process for renaming, the application review committee members each reviewed the application, the letter of support, design schematics, and checked to make sure all of the necessary criteria was met as part of the honorary naming policy. The addition of the new entrance sign that will be added, its creation, installation, which will match other existing water and wastewater plant designs, will come at a cost of $14,659.26. The boulder with an inscribed marker dedicated to Dr. Keller will be located near the fishing area and will have a cost of $1,195. The cost of these will be provided by the City of Griffin Water and Wastewater Department. At this time, the City of Griffin GIS staff finds that all criteria of the honorary naming policy has been met and recommends approval of the application to rename Still Branch Regional Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant to Dr. Brant D. Keller Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant. GIS staff also recommends approval for the creation and installation of a new plant entrance sign, along with a boulder monument with an inscribed plaque dedicated to Dr. Keller. At this time, I'd like to invite our applicant, Brandon Lewis, Director of Water Wastewater. He'd like to take a moment and address the board as well with some comments.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Lewis.
Good evening. I came to work with the City of Griffin in June of 2019 and was hired by Dr. Keller, and I'm just going to call him Brant right now because I think he'd prefer that. Brant was, there's a lot of things that could be said about Brant. He was truly an incredible man. One of the first things that I remember is his excitement to tell me about Griffin's water and wastewater utility, the system, and everything that has, that he's been a part of. And it was very obvious to me then, in 2019, that one of the achievements that he considered to be a crowning achievement in his career was the Still Branch Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant. And I can tell you, building a reservoir and a water treatment plant is no simple task. That was, Drew here could attest to all the land acquisition and everything that went into getting that done. Incredibly, truly a monumental feat. But aside from that, over the years that I worked with Brant, I got to see a man who was absolutely 110% committed to his community. And everything, beyond a shadow of doubt in my mind, everything that he did was for the benefit of this community. Our DCA representative, Mr. Gaddis here, mentioned earlier the miles of water and sewer pipe and hydrants that have been installed through DCA's CDBG program. That is in large part due to Dr. Keller. He drove that initiative. He achieved also Water First designation for Griffin, which was one of the first in the state in 2007, which also gets us additional points with GFAS financing. So due to Brant's work, a lot of our financing for infrastructure, we get a whole 1% of interest taken off the top on the money that we borrow for what we do. And that CDBG grant, I think we're on number 18. That's on the agenda here a little bit later that you're going to vote on. It's unheard of that communities have that many CDBG awards and $1 million investment from the state, into our infrastructure for the betterment of our community. That's Brant's legacy, is working hard, tirelessly even, for the betterment of his community, his ratepayers, as he would call them, his Yeah. So he was it was a marvel to watch him work, and to work with him, and I consider myself very blessed to have had the time that I had working with him. So I hope you honor him in this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Does staff have anything else at this point?
I think they've summed it up perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Did the board have any questions or comments before we open up the public hearing? Okay. This is a public hearing at this time. Does anybody from the audience like to address the board on this subject matter? Okay. Welcome, Brian. If you could please state your name and address for the record,
Yes,
please.
I'm Brian Keller. I live at 305 Lace Court in Fayetteville, Georgia. My dad was Brant Keller, Dr. Keller. He never liked the doctor. He was a PhD. I want to thank y'all tonight for taking this consideration and naming the reservoir after him. He did pour his life into this reservoir. He spent countless hours here at the city of Griffin. I really do believe that he enjoyed his job. He enjoyed working with y'all. He enjoyed working with all the boards. And I just want to thank y'all again for allowing this to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. Is there anybody else in the audience like to come for the board? Well, thank you so much, and we will close this public hearing and vote in just a few minutes. Moving into the consent agenda, we have items 4 through 7. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Commissioner Murray with a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wright. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0, approval of the consent agenda. Moving into the regular agenda, item 8 is consider request for the renaming of Steel Branch Regional Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant to Dr. Brant D. Keller Reservoir and Water Treatment Plant with the proposals for signs and monument construction pertaining to the renaming request. Commissioner Murray with a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tinsley. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. It's 6-0. And thank you, Brian and Mr. Lewis, for getting this together. Good job. Moving to item 9, consider acceptance of the Electric Cities of Georgia ECG year-end settlement and contract payment reimbursement in the amount of $14,610.09 and deposit 100% into Electric Department's Educational Training and Developmental Fund. Commissioner Murray with a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0 approval. Item 10 is consider agreement with Allen Smith Consulting, best qualified applicant, in the amount of $15,000 to perform grant administration services for the fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant Award for the City of Griffin. Do I have a motion to approve the agreement?
Motion.
Mr. Wright with a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCord. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0 approval. Item 11 is consider a task order form under the Master Service Agreement with Paragon Consulting Group for the 2025 CDBG Southern Rushton Mills Village Redevelopment Area Preliminary Engineering Report in the amount of $4,500.
So moved.
Commissioner McCord with a motion, second by Commissioner Murray. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0 approval. Item 12 is consider a resolution and authorize the mayor to execute the 2025 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, application for $1 million with the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, DCA, to make public water and sewer infrastructure improvements in the Pleasant Avenue, LeBron Avenue, Melrose Avenue, and North 19th Street area.
So moved.
Commissioner McCord with a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tinsley. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Item 13 is consider a memorandum of agreement between the City of Griffin and Department of Community Affairs for Plan First designation.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Tinsley. Second by Commissioner Murray. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0 approval. Item 14 is consider a contract with Middle Georgia Environmental, lowest quote, in the amount of $27,500 to demolish 323 East Solomon Street. Do we have a motion to award the contract? Commissioner Wright with a motion.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Murray. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0. And last is number 15. Consider a Georgia Airport Aid Funding Grant contract among the Georgia Department of Transportation, the City of Griffin, Spalding County, and the Griffin Airport Authority to construct replacement airport Phase 1 in the amount of $6 million.
So moved.
Motion Commissioner Tinsley,
Second.
second by Commissioner McCord. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 6-0. Outstanding. All right, moving into the city manager's report.
Good evening. Thank you all for a pretty quick agenda. I did want to say that it was a pleasure to always work with Dr. Keller. I knew that if he was sitting in my office when I got there in the morning that we had a problem. But there have been several times throughout the last few years that I have certainly said, I wish you were sitting in my office so he could talk to me about it, because he was always a good listening ear and gave great advice. I'm very excited to get this going and hopefully have a ribbon cutting, opening, whatever we want to call it, here soon. Also, another big to-do is our Plan First designation. I thank Mr. Gaddis for being here and bragging on the City of Griffin, because what our planning department does, but also what you all do and allow staff to do along with our citizens, is a big accomplishment, and it's nice to hear that from somebody outside of our community. Some of that, though, is also because of code enforcement and what they're willing to do. As a former recovering prosecutor in municipal court, I can say that their job is very difficult, and the maddest anybody has ever been at me is because of code enforcement citations, not actual citations where you would go to jail. So they do have a very difficult job, and I thank them very much for coming in every day and doing that as professionally as possible. A couple other dates to remember: downtown trick-or-treating is Thursday at 4. So if you do not have children and you don't want to participate in trick-or-treating, I highly recommend that you leave downtown before 4, because there will be people everywhere. My children don't know about downtown trick-or-treating, so we're not going to tell them about downtown trick-or-treating. Hometown, they get enough. Hometown Connections is November 19th. You did receive a save the date in your email this week about that, so please let us know. We'll send out a link as far as actually RSVPing and with your lunch choice. And we've heard back from a couple of our local delegation, but we're also reaching out to our federal delegation to ask them to participate with us. We'll have an agenda for you to view hopefully in the next week or so as well. And then lastly, we did just receive today from the Chamber of Commerce a request to write a letter of support to the Department of Energy on behalf of Renai, and a rule that they are wanting to put into effect that could potentially close our plant. I would like your permission to fill out that form and write that letter on behalf of Renai, where we have 200 jobs here in our community. So if you were good with that, I will get that sent out tomorrow. That is it for me.
Thank you. Mr. Whalen.
I just want to say, I think it's wonderful what you've done in honor and memory of Brant Keller. I could sit here and talk to you for hours about all the things Brant and I did, but I really can't talk to you about many of those things we did. But we had a great working relationship, and there was just about every day started around 6:30 in the morning with Brant and I sitting down over a cup of coffee and talking about the future of the city of Griffin, and me listening to his great ideas of things and helping bring them to reality. And I think this is very fitting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whalen. Mr. McCord.
I guess I'm going to join in on the Brant Keller. Many of you know that Brant Keller was the first person to ever fire me. But he was also the first person to have to hire me back, and the first person to find out that I was going to be a city commissioner back in 1993. So had a real good working relationship after that with Mr. Keller, and we never let each other forget how we started out, and it's great that we're doing this for his family and for his memory.
Thank you. Mr. Wright.
Nothing.
Mrs. Curtis.
I would like to publicly thank the fire chief. Sorry, I don't know his name.
Chief Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton, for taking that time and granting wishes to the elderly. I mean, we need more like you. I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Commissioner Murray.
What a fabulous, productive meeting. Not all of our meetings end up this happy and productive, so I feel excited to be here all the time, but especially tonight. And what an honor. 25 years ago, when I first started, Dr. Keller trained me on a lot of things, and never thought that one day I would be up here and be able to vote on naming a project. And honoring him in the way that we all did tonight. So, very moving night, and good to see everybody, and y'all have a very safe Halloween, and thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Tinsley?
For everybody that worked on the Brant Keller project, getting that named after him, it's very, very much appreciated. I remember when I first got elected, getting in that pickup truck and going to see it. Every facility that Griffin had was amazing. I'm like, wow, you do all this? And then his background, where he came from to go to work for the city of Griffin, we're like, yeah. So, and I would like for everybody to keep our former commissioner, city commissioner, county commissioner, Spalding County Water Authority, Dick Morrow, in your prayers. Dick's having to undergo some medical attention right now, and he could use your prayers. So, and if you want to go out to Halloween, on Halloween night, go by his house. He loves Halloween. He's got the coffins and the ghosts and, you know, the trip lights, and so all the kids are, he's 2 doors up from me, so I hear all the kids scream. It's a lot of fun. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gaddis, thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate what DCA does with us, with Commissioner Nunn and the whole team, Corin, Thornton, and it's a team effort, and we're very proud that you continue to support us financially as well as recognize us. It's nice to hear a report card of the great things that we've accomplished over the last several years, so thank you very much. Wanted to give a shout out to city staff and the Downtown Council for an excellent feast on East this weekend on Sunday afternoon. Had a very delightful afternoon there. We've also got our last concert in the park, as well as the market. It's going to be Sunday afternoon, October 27th, from 12 to 4 p.m. So we'll have food trucks and other activities there on Sunday, the 27th of October. So I'd love to have you all join us for that. And of course, the downtown trick-or-treating is chaos. So come one and all and have a great time. So Dr. Brant Keller and my dad were close friends, and I met Dr. Keller when I shortly returned home in 1990, and I was made Public and Business Affairs Committee with Kiwanis in 91, and had a budget. So I went to him talking about planting trees and stuff, and so Brant was a tree guy. He loved to plant trees, and so he gave me all these ideas of where we could plant trees in City Park and around town, and that relationship and that mentorship that I received from him. He was never shy about sending you a motivational card with a quick little quote and comment. And through my entire life knowing Brant, he's always been one of those that wasn't ashamed to give you the boot and the tail if you needed it. But he was the best friend of this community, and cherished all the memories and things that you drive around downtown, whether it's streetscape, whether it's what's going on at City Park, at the golf course. He is just, his impact will be here for generations, and we're very truly blessed. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight? Commissioner Tinsley, second by Commissioner Murray. All in favor, please join us. Out of here.